Imagine a world that's brand new. Death isn't even a concept yet, and there's only one family on the entire planet. But inside that family, a shadow is starting to form. A shadow that's going to change humanity forever. Today, we're opening up the case file on the world's very first murder investigation.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That one sentence is so chilling. It's the heart of a mystery that's older than any law book, a betrayal that just echoes through all of history. So yeah, we're reopening the case file.
All right, so our investigation starts at the crack of dawn. Picture this, a quiet, totally isolated field. The silence is suddenly broken by a really grim discovery. The world is still so young, but violence, it's already left its very first scar on the earth. So let's break this down like a modern crime scene, right? The evidence right away tells us this was no accident. And it wasn't an animal attack. That wound, it's deliberate, it's powerful. The scene suggests a quick, single, fatal blow. And it was for sure delivered by a human hand. And there you have it, case file number 1. The victim is Abel. And since there's literally no one else around in this new world, the prime suspect is immediately clear, his own brother, Cain. The only thing we're missing? The motive. And then we get our first big break. Investigators at the scene find 2 sets of footprints leading into the field, walking side by side. But only one set walks away. This isn't just proof of a murder. It's proof of a deep betrayal. Someone Abel trusted led him out there to die. So, to figure out why this happened, we have to find that motive. We've got to rewind the clock, go back just a few hours before the murder, to find the spark that lit this massive fuse of jealousy and rage. And this is the moment everything changes. Both brothers make an offering. Abel's is accepted, but Cain's is rejected. And right there, for the first time in human history, someone experiences what it feels like to be completely overlooked, to be seen as less than. And you can just feel the psychological snap. Cain's pride is absolutely shattered. The source material says his face literally darkens. That's the external sign of the storm just brewing inside him: humiliation, resentment, and this burning, corrosive jealousy. You know, today, we actually have a name for this: narcissistic injury. It's what happens when someone with a really fragile ego gets denied the validation they crave. The reaction can be, well, explosive. Cain's entire identity was wrapped up in being the firstborn, the top dog. When that was challenged, his whole world just fell apart. Okay, so you have all this internal rage building up. How does it actually turn into, murder? Let's reconstruct the crime moment by chilling moment. Just listen to these words. Let us go out to the field. It sounds so innocent, right? But it's absolutely chilling, because this wasn't a crime of passion, not in the heat of the moment. This was premeditated. The decision to kill his brother had already been made. This wasn't random. It was a plan, broken down into 4 cold, calculated steps. First, the lure. He gets his brother to trust him. Then, isolation, choosing a place where no one can see or hear. He waits for the perfect opportunity, the moment Abel's back is turned. And then, the final, brutal attack. It's a terrifyingly efficient plan. And in that one moment, with that one terrible sound, everything changes. Innocence is just gone. Cain is standing over his brother, and for the very first time, a human being is forced to confront the absolute, irreversible finality of what they've done. So what happens now? The crime is done. How does the world's very first murderer act when he's confronted? The interrogation becomes this intense psychological showdown. It's Cain versus the consequences. And this is his response when he's asked where Abel is. It's probably one of the most famous lines in history, right? And it's not just a lie, it's this cold, defensive attempt to put emotional and moral distance between himself and the horrific thing he just did. It's a textbook sign of guilt. So if we were to build a psychological profile of our suspect, it would look something like this. He's deeply insecure, views everything as a competition, and when he loses, he can't handle it. He lies, he deflects, but here's the most crucial part. He's afraid of getting punished, but he shows zero remorse for the actual act. He's scared for himself, not for the brother he killed. Now, the verdict here is really interesting. It's not what you'd expect, it's not death, it's exile. Cain is condemned to just wander the earth forever, a man without a home, without a tribe. His punishment is to live with his guilt, to be a walking, talking symbol of what jealousy and violence lead to. Okay, so why are we digging into this ancient case file? What's the point? Well, it's because the legacy of this crime is, well, it's everywhere. It's more than just a story, it's written into our DNA. Think about it. This story is basically the blueprint for so much human conflict. It's the original case study of how envy can curdle into violence. It lays the groundwork for our entire concept of justice and consequences. It's really chapter 1 in our long, complicated struggle with our own worst instincts. And that's really the key here, isn't it? Cain and Abel aren't just some dusty figures from an old story. They're archetypes that live inside all of us. It's that flash of jealousy when a coworker gets the promotion, that sting of sibling rivalry, that envy we feel scrolling through social media. This story shows us that the potential for both incredible creation and terrible destruction, they're both totally, profoundly human. In all of this entire investigation, from that lonely field to a life of exile, it really leaves us with one final, haunting question. Is evil some big, scary monster that attacks us from the outside? Or is it a quiet whisper that's been inside of us from the very beginning?